Welcome to the Sport Card Expo, spring edition here in Toronto. It's a great way to end off the weekend here, sitting on the stage with Mark Giordano. Mark, welcome to the Sports Card Expo. My name is Jeremy Lee. I live in Calgary, so I had the pleasure of being I am still a Flames fan, but I'm rooting for the Leafs, guys. I'm rooting for the Leafs in the East. But I had the pleasure of watching Mark play several times. I'm the host of Sports Cards Live. It's a YouTube show, a podcast. Check it out if you'd like. But we're here to have a little chat with Mark. So, Mark, first thing I want to mention is, I have to tell you, we miss you in Calgary. It was great having you there for so long, and you were the perfect player to wear the captaincy after Jerome McGinley wore it in Calgary for so long. But you went through an interesting journey. You came up undrafted, made your own way, won a Norris Trophy, became the captain. When did you first realize and feel like I made it, I belong here in the NHL?
Oh, God. I mean, for me, just to play that first game, I think, my whole life I was, never drafted, like you said, so I was never the best player on my team or anything like that. So I think that moment of getting called up on a Monday night and playing in St. Louis, it was like to get in that first NHL game felt really special for me.
Right on. I can only imagine we often like to celebrate players' debuts in the professional leagues, and nowadays with sports cards, and this is the sports card show, companies are making special patches to put on players' jerseys and things like that. It's pretty cool. You were a veteran presence in some really young locker rooms. I'm curious what you observed. What's one thing that young players today approach differently than you did when you were younger, coming up in the league in dressing rooms?
Oh, God, it's for sure it's the way they train and the way they treat their bodies, and nutrition is another one. I think the young players coming in, it was funny, like you used to have to like learn the pro game, and nutrition. With that comes nutrition, lifting weights a certain way, training a certain way. Now all the young players are ready. When they come into the NHL, they're well informed. They have their own trainers. They have their own nutritionists already. That's the biggest difference in the game, and that's why you see so many young players becoming superstars at a young age.
Yeah, they certainly do. How do you think? We often have conversations. We like to compare players of different eras. How would Gordie Howe play today? How would Wayne Gretzky play back in the day? Those sorts of things. How do you look at that? Do you think guys like, and I don't like guys like Jerry Cheevers and Gump Worsley, would those guys be successful in today's NHL? And I know it's weird because they would have trained differently if they came up today. But how do you kind of look at that these days?
Yeah, it's a tough question, but I just think, like you said, the equipment's different. We're using a lot better equipment. Our sticks are better. Our skates are better. But I would like to think that like a guy like Wayne Gretzky would be the same type of player in our era as he would be in his. I mean, it was funny. He made a comment after Ovechkin broke his record. He's like, people ask him that question all the time, and he said, well, I didn't get to play 3-on-3 overtime and have a lot of space. And in his era, there's a lot more clutching and grabbing and holding and cross-checking. So in a lot of ways, it was harder to score. And in a lot of ways in our era, the equipment for the goalies, the goaltending might be better. So there's different pluses and there's different minuses in every time you look at it.
When you were a younger player in the NHL, who was a teammate or another player that maybe took you under your wing, or someone that you could rely on if you had questions or issues, or somebody who really, you felt close with that maybe was a mentor to you? Was there somebody that sticks out that way for you?
Yeah, for sure. I think Jerome McGinley being the captain when I came into the league, just watching him and following his lead, the way he treated people, the way he acted, was pretty cool to watch. So I would say him, and then Robin Regeer was a defenseman in Calgary who I really looked up to, and even past hockey, I still keep in contact with him, talk to him, and he's always seems to have really great advice.
And after he left the Flames, he went to LA and won a Stanley Cup, right? Yeah, I saw him in Calgary once. He let me put his ring on one of my fingers. Was pretty cool. Same question, but let's go the other way now. So you're captain of the Calgary Flames for like 11 years. What players came in that you mentored and were there for them to lean on and help them along their way as they were, learning the men's league, the man's league?
I'd like to think all of them. No, I'm joking. No, I think the guys that stand out is probably their captain now, Michael Backlund. I remember him coming into Calgary as a young kid with white skates, long blonde hair with highlights in it, and he's come a long way since then. He's really matured into a great leader. I'd like to think him, and the only other guy that sticks out in my mind that plays on the team right now is a guy like Rasmus Andersson. He's one of probably their best defensemen, and I played with him for his first few years, so he sticks out as well.
Yeah, we love him in Calgary for sure. A bit of a Mark Giordano mold as well. The way he he's in there. He doesn't mess around. So, we got some superstars in the league right now. We have some young defensemen, phenomenal guys, and I don't want to just paint you into the defenseman corner. I'd like to hear who are some of the guys that when you watch now, that you're like, holy moly, maybe even that you've played against in recent years, who really makes you say, wow, this kid is good, this kid has got a bright career ahead of them?
Obviously, McDavid sticks out as Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon are the two that stick out on forward. They're special players, really, really tough to play against. But for me, the guy that I enjoy watching the most is Cale Makar, defenseman in Colorado. I think he's from Calgary. He's a Calgary boy.
Yeah.
But just to watch his game and his explosiveness from the back end and the way he can carry the puck and lead the rush and chip in offensively, he's a pretty special player to watch.
Yeah, the league loves him. The hobby here, the sports card collectors and enthusiasts, his cards command some good dollars, no doubt about it. I want to hear what you're most proud of, so I got a few to choose from. You won the Norris at 35 years old, the Norris Trophy for the best defenseman in the NHL. How proud were we of you as Flames fans? We were ecstatic with that. So winning the Norris, being the Flames captain for 8 seasons, being the first captain in the history of the Seattle Kraken, or playing 1,000 NHL games. What one of those do you, or even something else that I didn't think of? What are you most proud of?
No, that's a great question. I'm proud of all of them. I think probably the 1,000 games. Getting to 1,000 games means lasting that long in the league is not an easy thing to do. And for me, I was excited to play one game in the NHL one time a long time ago, but to think back now and to think of my career, playing 1,000 games is pretty cool. Being a captain is a close second. I think anytime an organization puts that trust in you means a lot, means they really respect you. And so I would say that's a close second, but just lasting as long as I did, I think, in the NHL. I always said I wanted to play it till I was 40, and I did, so I'm pretty proud of that.
You mentioned that one of your highlights earlier in the conversation was that first NHL game. What was the feeling like when you stepped onto the ice the first time you wore the captain's C? Was that a similar feeling to the first game? What goes through a player's head when they're named captain, especially after a legend like Jarome Iginla? Yeah. Here you are, the new captain. What's in your mind as you're skating out and the fans are there? The first home game is more the specific question I'd like to ask.
A lot of pride goes through your body, I think. But like you said, following Iggy was not an easy thing to do. He was such a legend in Calgary and such a great leader. But it almost made it easier in a sense because you're never going to fill those shoes, Jarome Iginla. So, no, I took a lot of pride in it, but it was a pretty special, cool moment. The first time I wore the C in Calgary, and then again in Seattle, I think that was pretty cool for me too. I wasn't expecting that one just because of my contract status and all that, but it's a lot of responsibility, but at the end of the day, there's a reason why they named you captain, and I think the most important thing for me was just to do the same things I was doing up until that point and not change. So that's what I tried to do.
So what do you have, what's on the horizon for you now? Are you officially retired from the NHL?
Unofficially, officially, I'm not going to play again, but I haven't
Oh.
officially announced it. But yeah, I'm retired. No, I'm doing some stuff in the city, a little bit with TSN here and there, and running a little hockey school of my own, which I'm really enjoying. So staying busy, but it's also nice to have some downtime and be able to hang out with friends and family.
Yeah, you've been playing hockey for quite some time, so wish you the best as we move forward. Last question I'm going to ask you here, and I want to thank everybody for coming out and taking this in with us here at the Expo. Tom Brady, obviously a legend of football, he recently opened up or put his name on a bunch of sports card stores in the United States, and I'm curious. We're as hobbyists, and I've been active hobbyist for over 40 years, Mark. What is a professional athlete like yourself when you're sent cards to sign by a card company, when you see cards of yourself, and you know that there's a huge community here, 100,000 people, well, something like that, we'll walk through here this weekend. What do you think of the sports card hobby? Do you collect any cards yourself? Did you as a kid? If you could, a whole bunch of questions here, so take the ones you want, but if you were to collect a player now for yourself, other than yourself, or maybe a great teammate or an idol of yours from the past, who would you like to collect right now if you could? So lots there. What do you think of this hobby?
It's cool, man. Yeah, growing up, I had binders of cards. I always collected. I stacked my cards. I had them stacked by team, which team the players played on. My favorite card I ever got was a Wayne Gretzky rookie card signed by Wayne Gretzky, so that was pretty special. But that was a pretty cool feeling when the first time I saw my own card. That was pretty cool. So yeah, I'm a big time. I'm big time into the sports, the hobby of collecting cards for sure. Nowadays, oh God, which athlete would I want? I'll stick with hockey. I'd like to get an Ovechkin or Crosby, one of their milestones, or maybe an Ovechkin card from when he broke the record signed or something like that would be pretty cool. But yeah, the hobby's cool. I think watching my kids now, it's funny. They've sort of turned into the Pokemon card collectors instead of the sports, but that's pretty cool too. So I think it's fun, right? It's a hobby. It's something to do. It's something to keep track of, and I enjoyed it growing up.
I knew you were going to say Pokemon as soon as you mentioned your kids. That's the way it's going. And just to kind of build off of that, when Upper Deck sends you cards to sign, which I know they've done in the past, do you ever look at these cards and think, oh, this is a really nice one, or this one I don't like the design too much, or this one, maybe I'll try to find one on eBay or something and buy it for myself? Do you ever have those kind of thoughts when you're looking at these cards?
There's some pretty cool cards, yeah. Like there's definitely times when they send you cards and I try to send a message back and be like, do you guys mind if I keep one of these 1 out of 50s? And they get pretty upset at that. They want them all back. But no, there's definitely a lot of different cards that have come out. I think the coolest ones, there's like a thicker one with a piece of the jersey on the card, which was pretty cool that I really enjoyed. But all of them, all the cards are pretty special. But yeah, definitely some that I've wanted to slip one in my back pocket and not send it back to them.
Well, Giannis Antetokounmpo is known for not returning all the cards. So last question that I just thought of. What player before your time did you maybe model your game after or inspired you, or were you just a big fan of when you were growing up as a kid?
Well, it's pretty cool that I got to play against him. Nick Lidstrom in Detroit was my favorite player to watch growing up. I think just his demeanor, being calm on the ice and playing with such poise, I think was amazing to watch growing up. And that's why I picked number 5 in Calgary, was because he wore number 5. I tried to model my game after his. He was a lot calmer and a lot better of a player than me, but I just loved watching him play and watching his demeanor on and off the ice.
Yeah, it's a great answer. Okay, I think we have time for one more question, which is other sports like basketball, football, baseball. Who are some of your favorite athletes from those other sports that you have enjoyed watching throughout your lifetime?
Oh, that's a great question. I grew up in tennis. I watched a lot of tennis growing up. I think Roger Federer was one of my favorite athletes of all time to watch. Again, just an incredible you know, wins aside, just an incredible person. It seems like on and off the court, just respected by all. Um, Other sports, football. I was a big Green Bay Packer fan. I watched Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre were two of my favorite quarterbacks growing up. Golf. I grew up in the Tiger Woods era, so how can you not watch Tiger Woods
Yep.
and be in awe of what he did, winning all those tournaments. And I also enjoy some UFC fighting. So John Jones, Conor McGregor, guys like that. Pretty, pretty cool athletes to watch. So I'd like to say I grew up in a blessed. I'm blessed to grow up in the era I did because of those top athletes that I got to watch.
Right on. Good stuff. All right. Well, listen, this has been a pleasure for me as a Flames fan, but are you a Leafs fan now? You must. What can you answer this question?
I am. Yeah, I definitely have a lot of friends on the Leafs. Have a lot of friends on the Flames. So I'll split down the middle both. Throw a little bit of Seattle in there too. I'd like to see all of them win, but let's see. It's hard. It's hard being on the other side of it too, right? Being a fan and watching. I'm not playing anymore, but I definitely pay attention for sure.
Well, the Leafs are still in it, so you're a fan. Listen, I am a Flames fan myself, but I have so many Leaf fan friends, so I'm hoping for the Leafs as well, and plus the Flames are out of it, so this year. So anyway, Mark, thanks so much. It's been a pleasure sitting with you. Thanks, everybody, for joining us, guys. Mark Giordano.
Thanks for having me.